It is known that Chi Sao, or sticky hands as it's called, is the heart of Wing Chun. This is because it's a combination of exercises used to develop the necessary skills in order to apply the training techniques in combat. Chi Sao is not a combat. Nevertheless, it offers us attributes, the capacity needed to fight according to the fundamental tactics of Wing Chun. Generally, Chi Sao is considered a skill training of sensitiveness or awareness, but this is not its only function. Once the student has begun to get familiar, thanks to the previous exercises with the fundamental Wing Chun concepts, they can move on to practice Chi Sao with one hand. The Dan Chi Sao movements are short, hardly some millimeters in reality. If you go over this margin, it means that you have given up one of the following things. The attack has been absorbed by the corresponding yielding reaction and crosses the bridge, arriving at its destiny, a strike to the chest. The attack has been absorbed because the defender yielded correctly. In this case, the attacker, by insisting, has left a space and the defender can strike through that space. There are also different Chi Sao exercises and applied progressive training that help the Wing Chun practitioner to develop the following qualities. 1. Awareness or sensitivity. This one is the best known. It involves making contact with the body of the adversary, mostly done with the arms and the legs, used to detect his intention and take advantage of his force. 2 fundamental principles are used here. Keep close to your opponent and attack when you feel you have an opening. Chi Sao develops awareness of yielding, the yang aspect, and also the sensitiveness to find the opening and strike, the yang. Number 2, dynamic rooting. By rooting we mean the capacity to connect with the floor, the roots of all techniques. This includes important aspects such as balance, stability, footwork, and supports. Dynamic implies the idea of change and adaptation. Dynamic rooting is a capacity to keeping connected to the floor with balance and stability while the forces of the opponent are absorbed downwards, increasing the connection with the floor. This brings about more support, allowing you to take advantage of the ascending impulse of the body in the moment when we execute the strikes. During the Chi Sao training, we utilize pushes, pulls, sweeps, etc., so that the Wing Chun practitioner can learn to keep balanced, stable, and neutralize the others. Number 3, dynamic relaxation. This is the capacity to remain relaxed in a fluid way while you interact with the adversary. Through the Chi Sao training, the martial artist should liberate himself of his rigidity, which will allow him therefore more fluidity and power in his movements. 4, body connection. This is the capacity to connect all parts of the body to form a unity of action that generates power and explosiveness. Like everything in Wing Chun, it has both Jin and Jan aspects. The Jin aspect consists of absorbing the mechanical energy of the opponent through the body itself down to the floor, thus increasing our support and stability. Dynamic rooting. The Wing Chun expert feels with total clarity that as he enters into contact with the opponent, the kinetic energy of the opponent's movement passes through from the point where contact is made to his feet, which follows certain internal connections. These internal connections are created by the Chi Sao exercise from the sections created by Grand Master Leung Ting. These connections act as shock absorbers, eating the kinetic energy of the opponent's strike and accumulating in a way to add power that is liberated with the counter strike. The Jang aspect. This aspect is the capacity to liberate accumulated energy in the right direction. In order to do that, you need to coordinate various micro movements that come from all parts of the neural muscle system as a current of outward moving force. Grand Master Leung Ting, by means of his rehearsed error correction system, created a series of exercises grouped in sections, depending on the level of difficulty. While training, if you do one of the connection techniques and it is not executed correctly, we cannot move our partner or go through his guard. On the other hand, if it's a perfectly executed connection, Our partner will not be able to resist our movement even though we do it slowly. Once you have gotten to a good level of coordination, these exercises are done in a relaxed way. Although you get to a point where there is a sensation of not making any effort or tension, your strikes are very powerful and explosive, even surprising you by the injury they can produce to your opponent. That is why we can reassure you that Chi training gives you an increase in power and explosiveness. In addition, this quality is increasingly refined each time you train these ever-progressive techniques or stages. Number 5, footwork or steps. Chi training works on all the possible steps and especially the coordination of the steps with different techniques to increase power. A Wing Chun characteristic is to accompany the techniques with a step, even though it is very short, to take advantage of the mass of corporal force and its inactivity. When the arm moves, the whole body follows backing up the strike, so the trial-error correction method permits you to gain this strike-step coordination. 6. Spontaneity and fluidity. Chi training provides us with a mechanism to liberate all the movements and preconceived ideas. It is an unconscious adaptation which flows when facing the adversary's movements. There are times when you discover that you are responding spontaneously without being conscious of what your opponent had done to provoke your response.